Well, good day, everyone. Carpo, again, to make a video about life. I had all these ideas in my head this morning, but I just couldn't seem to consolidate them into a format which would actually make a video that was subject specific. But, you know, I was thinking about ghosts for a while, but it got me thinking about just people and how we perceive things and the world around us. And sometimes it makes me wonder. The reason why I was thinking about ghosts is because my mom and I went on a drive yesterday and we were talking about ghosts, and she speaks. My father died when I was 15. He had cancer, and she talks to him, and she claims that he moves things, or things happen which lead her to believe that he's there with her. Now, personally, I've had no experiences like that whatsoever with my dad, but then again, I haven't really talked to him or put forth that much effort. I've never sat and said, okay, show me a sign, show me a sign. And that really got me thinking about the things that we convince ourselves are true in order to make our lives more livable. And, you know, this is, for a lot of people, religion is a way for them to feel like they have a destination and a purpose. And outside of religion, things that aren't structured, such as ghosts, UFOs, all these types of, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, alternative thinking or unproven ideas, or anybody that has, Bigfoot, that kind of stuff. These are all fun ideas that I've noticed that when people attach to one, they tend to attach to a lot. For example, Bigfoot believers are usually UFO believers. Those who believe in ghosts usually also believe in spirit, this kind of stuff. It's not like it leads us to realize if we see one thing or feel one thing, then that means other things exist, I guess. My question has been how much of it's true, how much of it is manifested by our own minds. Do we create the neuroplasticity of our brain and the way that it adjusts to our lives and the way that we think? I mean, is that to be blamed for the experiences we have? I believe in ghosts, but I've never seen one. And I started kind of trying to categorize ghosts, or at least what people claim are ghosts. And there seem to be the ones who are personal and direct, who are dealing with an individual, such as your father or your relative. And then they have ones that seem to just be indifferent to the world around them, which might be residual energy, let's say, from an event that happened. This is where people see maybe a person walking down the halls, or a major event happening over and over. But one of the most confusing aspects of it to me is, first off, if the ghost is going to show up in human form, the only reason to do that would be so other humans can understand or grasp it. In other words, that I feel like when spirit, or when the universe speaks to us, it speaks to us in ways that we understand. If you were getting all your instructions in Chinese and you're speaking English, then it's not going to help, and vice versa. So when you have something come to you, if it's in a form you don't comprehend or understand, then you might not get the point, or get the, learn what you're supposed to from it. So I guess what I'm saying is that if the brain, is it the mind that actually makes us see things the way we see them? Do we perceive them because of the way that we want to perceive them, or does the ghost, or whatever it is, actually present itself in a certain form? In Middle Eastern lore, we have the jinn, which were the shadow creatures or whatever, and then we have the trickster, and over here in Native American legends, we have all these different, not just ghosts, but like demons, spirits, beings, whatnot. And I've read countless stories about why, or what people assume these things mean, but so far I've found really no consensus among them as to what a ghost is, why it's, how come if a person calls upon a force or a ghost or whatnot, it comes into a human anthropomorphic form and then we can see it and converse with it? Where is it before that? Are we just conjuring it out of the ether? Or are we bringing forth that consciousness that existed, or is that consciousness still tied to the person, if you know what I mean? What about ghost cars and ghost trains, things like that, you know? These are the major energy events that happened that somehow left an impact. And maybe it's an interdimensional thing, I don't know. It's just all interesting stuff to me, and I like to speculate and wonder about it, and wonder how much of it is us. And I guess that's what distances me from believing things too strongly. And this is where truth becomes so important for me, is because if I start believing and convincing myself of one particular thing, then I'm more likely to tie other things and other events into that, rather than seeing them from a clean slate or a clean mind. It's very difficult for us to look at something we see without having the preconceived notions about what it was. I mean, if you were to see an apparition or a ghost of an ancestor in front of you, most people would instantly think it's a ghost. It's the, you know, somebody coming back, or whatever association we make with it. But what if we had no clue? You know, what kind of association would we make? And I think it's difficult for humans to break away from these preconceived notions about the way we see the world. So that's why I try to keep myself open, and, you know, but I don't know what to think about ghosts, and I've been fascinated for my entire life, and I don't know. What are your experiences with ghosts? I'll tell you, the only one experience I ever really had with a ghost was when I was about 20 years old, and my friends and I decided to make a Ouija board. We did it out of a pizza box, and put our intention into the board. We all went upstairs. It was Hallows Eve, and the name just about popped into my head. I wish I could remember. It spelled out a first and last name, and all of us were kind of like looking at the jumbled letters, you know, saying this doesn't. And then once you separated it, you were like, oh shit, that's a name. It's a name, you know. I trusted everyone in the room, you know. There was obviously something going on there. But that's one of those things that leads you to believe, you know, what could it be? Is it a harmful thing? Is it a dangerous thing? Some people say don't deal with spirits, they could be demonic or evil. I think it's, that's what scares people off from a lot of this kind of stuff, but I think that it really has a lot to do with the person and your strength of mind and character, because nobody's mind will be conquered by an entity if they are aware of its presence. So. And I'm speaking of entities as if they exist, and I don't know, because I've never seen or talked to one. So I've talked to people who have, and I don't know what to make of it. Until I have the experience, I guess there's not much I can say. But ghosts are fun and interesting in the very least, so ghosts, what do you guys think? You ever seen a ghost? Take care, everybody.